In the musical dictionary, next to the word obese, is a picture of this drum. This is an 8 by 14 carbon fiber snare with die-cast hoops. It is made by a small Canadian drum maker called UDrum, which stands for Underground Drum. It has brass lugs, and in most of my previous Snare Battle videos, I have shown some pretty high-end drums, some pretty expensive drums. And believe me, there was a point in time in my musical career where I could not afford such drums. And so I wanted to feature today a couple of snares that I consider the best value for the money at opposite ends of the spectrum. So we have fat and deep and bluesy and dark over here. This is the opposite. This is a Ludwig Carl Palmer. I picked up one of these drums, to be honest, because I saw it in the store and it is just gorgeous. It has a shiny green shell with brass lugs. It is a brass drum. I know a lot of Ludwig aficionados do not care for this model because it is imported. I don't believe it's made in Monroe. I believe it's made for Ludwig overseas. But I just couldn't help myself. It's less than $400. And with brass lugs, die-cast hoops, brass shell, pretty good quality throw off. It's just gorgeous, and I wasn't really happy with the piccolo snares that I had at the time, and I am so glad I bought this. I have since sold all my other piccolo snares. The carbon fiber drum, the UDrum, took my eye because I had never seen an 8 by 14 carbon fiber snare. I have other carbon fiber snares in my collection and I like them. I really like carbon fiber in certain situations and the note that it produces and how they play. But I'd never seen an 8 by 14. I had a chance to get this. This is also a sub $400 drum. Not new. I don't know what they would go for new. You would have to contact UDrum up in Canada to find out. But on the used market, I picked this up for less than $400. And again, couldn't be happier. I have tuned both drums to 90 psi on top, 80 on the bottom, my normal setting. They do have different heads on them. This is Evans Genera Dry. This is a Remo Ambassador. Because of the small room we're in, I've taken a little piece of leather, just a strip of leather, drilled a hole in it. I use this to muffle drums often, and that's just to keep the ring down a little bit in this tiny room. Let me play them, give you a sound sample. Opposite sides of the spectrum. They're not meant to compete with each other. They're clearly two different drums for two different uses. But as far as the value proposition goes, both of these are pretty hard to beat, if you ask me. Let's play them. hard to get further on the scale apart than that. When I look for a bluesy, dark, fat snare, one of the things that always I check for is there still enough note definition if you do some really quick singles, you know, a little 5 or 6 stroke set of singles. And this drum has that. It has pretty wide pure sound wires on the underneath. I would guess 28 or 30 strands. I didn't count them, but it's got some pretty good snares on the bottom. This is a thick head. This is meant to dampen this head intentionally, and you still get that definition. You can still hear each individual strike when you're doing some quick singles. The tone of this, at least in person, and I have played this drum live once, the tone of this in person is just, it's one of the fattest snares I own. And it also feels very, very nice. The die-cast hoops are quality. The throw-off works just as it should. The snares tighten nicely. For less than $400, I don't know how you beat this drum for its category. I already mentioned that when I bought the Carl Palmer, the Venus snare, I think a lot of people refer to it as, I sold my other piccolos, and I had some pretty nice piccolo snare drums. This just did it all. It didn't matter how I tuned this, it didn't matter where I played it. I tried it in the rehearsal room, I've played it live, I've played it and recorded it before. And if you need that piccolo sound, that sharp crack, yet still lower volume, I don't know how you would find a better piccolo snare without getting up into the, you know, cast bronze exotics. These new are, I think $399 is suggested list price. I have seen them new occasionally for $350. Right around there, maybe a demo model from a drum shop or something like that. You don't see them very often on the used market, and there's a reason why. I know several drummers that have these. I've chatted with them about it, and it's interesting when I post a picture online in the social media of my snare walls. I have more people pick out the Carl Palmer and say, how do you like that? I love mine. And that just goes to show you that their guys are getting them and they're keeping them, and that just means it's a very quality drum with a lot of uses. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Appreciate all the support I've been getting, and all my best to you and yours.